Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Smishak's Custom Baits. Rick Smishak here. Back in the room, back in my room in the shelter again today. We're continue the discussion on pain and stress for bass in this episode. Um, as always, we're referring to these. But I almost combined the third episode with this one, but I'm going to leave it on its own so that one you guys can find that information readily, and you'll understand why. Let's talk about escape reactions. Animal rights activists postulate that because bass try to escape as soon as they're hooked, that this proves that they're in pain. No, it doesn't. Bass do feel something when they're hooked, but it isn't pain. It's fish, like all vertebrates and many invertebrates, are born with various instincts, built-in mechanisms to help them avoid harm. The basic elements of this reaction are inborn, and we know that because juveniles exhibit this behavior. Even the youngest of fish, when they're first hatched, exhibit this behavior. So we know that it's instinctive. Okay, we know it's something that they're born with, that our Creator gave them, so they don't become extinct. They got, some of them have to survive, right? But it doesn't require injury, actual injury or pain, in order for those instincts to be, in this case, an escape reaction, to be expressed. That escape behavior is a general reaction to potential harm. Hooking triggers it, as does seeing a predator, or holding a fish in a net. I've seen fish struggle in a net, but I didn't realize that that's what was happening. Was their escape mechanism. I thought maybe they just didn't like the touch of it, which maybe they don't. Maybe they don't like that either. But it's that escape mechanism that's being triggered that causes them to struggle in the net like that. Stress is initiated by things called stressors. Pretty cool, huh? Stressors. But these include things like the sudden attack of a predator, dramatic shift in water temperature, a slow drop in oxygen levels, poor water quality, physical exertion, and disease. These are some of the things that can cause stress. Now, without question, hooking and playing a fish causes stress. There's no question about that. That's we know that for a fact. The amount of stress that is endured depends heavily on how long the fish is played and the water temperature. I was kind of surprised by the water temperature thing. I'm not sure why, but I just was. It was like, wow, that's interesting. Higher water temperatures cause higher amounts of stress in fish when you're playing them, which I don't think we know the reason why for that just yet. But it is what it is. But despite this, scientists generally agree that angling in and of itself isn't normally lethal. Okay, hook the fish, play it, let it go, and it's not normally lethal to the fish. Other factors can cause lethality, like when you come and the more of the stresses that you combine during the angling, the more likely stress is to be lethal. Okay, like the water quality in your live well. If you're fortunate enough to have a boat, um, combine that with, say, um, sudden movement of the boat where you're trying to get it up on I think called up on step or up on line where the boat mostly comes out of the water. It's just riding on top of the water instead of in it. Um, you can slam the fish around inside your live well. Okay, poor water quality, low oxygen levels. Plus, you just played the fish in, say, 80 degrees of water, and now you're slamming it around inside your live well. Well, that now we're looking at the possibility of things becoming lethal, stress being lethal to the fish. Um, so we want to avoid as many of those stressors as we can when we're handling the fish and whatnot. Um, each of those stressors by themselves aren't likely to be lethal. Okay, but again, in combination changes things. Um, interestingly enough, large bass and Florida strain bass are more susceptible to these stressors than smaller fish or the northern strain or the hybrids. The last episode here we'll put up next week. I'll talk about some of the things we can do to reduce stress in fish. If you liked what you saw, hit the like button if you would. That helps the channel. If you haven't subscribed, would you please do so? You should share this. Share this with your friends. Share it with your fishing buddies for sure. If we're practicing catch and release, we darn sure don't want to kill the fish, right? Because then you might as well have just kept it and ate it. What's the point of catch and release if you're causing so much stress that you're just going to kill the fish anyways? So with all that said, until next time, folks, tight lines, calm waters, and God bless.